This is the most influential building in human history, and it is a ruin. But here is what nobody tells you. Time didn't do this. For 22 centuries, the Parthenon stood complete. A temple, then a church, then a mosque. People walked under its roof for 2,000 years. Then, on a single September night in 1687, one artillery shell turned it into what you see now. The man who fired it knew exactly what he was aiming at. And the strangest part? Half of what survived is no longer in Greece. This is the story of the night perfection died and where its pieces went. It is 480 BC. The Persian army pours into an empty Athens. On the sacred rock above the city, an unfinished temple to Athena stands in scaffolding. The Persians burn it all. When the Athenians return to their ashes, they swear an oath, leave the ruins as a monument, and one day build something the world has never seen. 30 years later, Athens rules the sea. Pericles, ambitious, eloquent, unstoppable, empties the treasury of an entire alliance into one project. Architects Iktinos and Callicrates. The sculptor Phidias. 20,000 tons of marble. His enemies call it theft. Pericles answers, "We are building what Athens will be remembered for." He is right. The numbers are absurd. 20,000 tons of Pentelic marble, cut 16 kilometers away and hauled uphill by ox cart. The structure finished in 9 years. A cathedral takes a century. No mortar anywhere. Every block locked to its neighbor by iron clamps sealed in lead. 70,000 pieces, each cut for one exact position. Here is the Parthenon's secret. There is not one truly straight line in it. The floor bulges upward 6 centimeters, so it looks flat. Every column swells at the middle and leans inward. Extend them, and they would meet 2.5 kilometers up in the sky. The Greeks bent the building, so your eye would see perfection. Mathematics disguised as beauty. The precision terrifies modern engineers. Column drums stacked so tightly you cannot slide a razor blade between them. The flutes carved after stacking, by hand, in one continuous line down 10 meters of stone. Joints accurate to a 20th of a millimeter. 2,500 years before laser measurement, on a windy rock with bronze chisel. Inside, Phidias built a god, 12 meters of gold and ivory, Athena, spear in hand, victory on her palm. Her skin was carved ivory, her dress a ton of solid gold, hung in removable plates, the city's emergency reserve wearing the shape of a goddess. Visitors said you didn't see the statue, you felt it seeing you. Around the building, Phidias carved Athens itself, a marble ribbon 160 meters long. Riders, musicians, girls with offering baskets, a whole city walking in procession toward the gods. In 432 BC, after 15 years, the scaffolding came down, and the ancient world had a new definition of the word perfect. Now forget the white marble postcard. The finished Parthenon was painted. Deep blue ceilings with golden stars, sculptures in red and turquoise, bronze shields blazing along the beams. It looked less like a future ruin and more like a jewel box the size of a mountain. White is what remained after the color died. The original was alive. And it refused to die. For 1,000 years it served Athena. When the old gods fell, it became a church of the Virgin Mary for another 1,000 years. When Constantinople fell, it became a mosque, a minaret rising beside the columns. 3 religions, 1 roof, 21 centuries intact. Almost no building on earth has lived so long unbroken. Then came September 1687. A Venetian army surrounds the Acropolis. The Ottoman garrison retreats onto the rock, bringing their families and 300 barrels of gunpowder stored inside the Parthenon itself. The logic was simple. It had stood for 2,000 years. Surely no Christian army would fire on the most famous temple in the world. They were wrong. On the evening of September 26th, a Venetian mortar crew on the hill opposite took aim. 1 shell arced over the walls, punched through the marble roof, and found the powder. 300 barrels ignited at once. The blast tore the building in half. 28 columns fell. 300 people died in the temple that had sheltered them. The Venetian commander, Morosini, walked into the smoking ruin and decided to take souvenirs. His men rigged ropes to the great marble horses of Poseidon on the west pediment. The tackle snapped. 22 centuries of sculpture hit the rock and exploded into fragments. Having destroyed the Parthenon, Europe had begun collecting it. The collection was completed by a British ambassador. From 1801, Lord Elgin's crews spent a decade sawing the sculptures off the ruin, half the frieze, whole pediments, and shipping them to London. 1 ship sank under the weight. Divers spent 2 years lifting marble from the seabed. Today, the Parthenon's skin lives in the British Museum, 2,400 kilometers from its body. In the 1930s, London scrubbed its marbles with copper brushes to make them whiter, scraping away the last traces of ancient paint, chasing a purity that never existed. Meanwhile, scientists with ultraviolet light kept finding what the brushes missed: Egyptian blue, gold leaf, patterned robes. The white Parthenon is a modern invention. The real one was in color. And the engineering still wins. Modern restorers, armed with lasers, computers, and titanium, have taken longer to repair the Parthenon than Ichthyonos took to build it. Every recovered fragment fits exactly one place, a 70,000-piece puzzle with no duplicates. The men who cut it left no manuals, no blueprints, only stone that still refuses to be improved. Today, the ruin is a construction site again. Cranes among the columns, marble surgeons grafting fresh Pentelic stone onto ancient ruins. Below, in the Acropolis Museum, a glass hall stands aligned with the temple, its top floor deliberately half empty, waiting for London to give the sculptures back. A building and a country holding an empty chair. So look at it one more time. 22 centuries of perfection. 1 night of gunpowder. 2 centuries of scattering. And yet, every parliament with columns, every museum, every courthouse quoting these lines is quoting this building. The Parthenon was an argument that human hands can build perfection. The ruin is still winning that argument. Empires rise and fall, stones break and crumble. But if you stand still long enough, you realize that history never truly disappears. I am the Stationary Observer. Thank you for watching. If this journey was worth your time, subscribe. The next monument is